Yo, what's up, y'all? It's the MMA analyst here to do a video. I'm gonna call it Racism in MMA, or maybe I could call it so-called racism MMA, or racism in MMA question mark. Who knows? But it's all stemming from a little section of a video in my last video where I hinted towards the possibility of racism in our pure sport of mixed martial arts. I was getting a lot of stuff in my inbox like, yo, don't even talk about it, man. People just won't understand. It's a battle you can't win. It is what it is. And I probably agree with that. But I'm going to do my best because I can't say something, have a whole bunch of people respond to it, and then not say anything because it just seems like, I don't know, it just seems like the weak thing to do. So here we go. First of all, let's cover what I said in my last video. I transcribed it. Here we go. This is what I said. There's a lot of people that hate on Melvin Guillard. I don't want to bring up certain things. Exhale. I'm not going to. Not in this video. But I am going to say something real quick. People say stuff like Melvin Guillard got lucky. There's nothing lucky about this fight. Nothing lucky at all. Melvin Guillard stuffed takedowns, got up, had him in places where a lot of other people, the fight would have been over. Or by the time they got back up, they have been dead tired. There's nothing lucky about this fight. Melvin Guillard went out and executed the game plan, but a lot of people are going to just hate on him. And there are a lot of other guys, this is the part right here, that look kind of like Melvin Guillard, and they get a lot of hate too. And I'm just going to leave it alone for now, but it's there, people. It exists. It's there. We are in a sport where, exhale, I'm just going to move along. So, out of that little section there of saying that there are people that look like Melvin Guillard that also get hated on and that something exists, I got crazy responses. People saying that I was saying that people aren't getting title shots and people aren't getting a fair shot in MMA, and they took a look at things like all the different sports where there are minorities just filling up the whole leagues. So let's get down to it, okay? First things first I'm going to cover is the world, Earth, planet Earth, okay? The world is filled with people that look like us and people that don't look like us. So that could be me, that could be you, no matter what you look like. I look around and I see people that look like me. And every study ever shown, scientific or otherwise, it basically shows human, animal, or non-human animal. So all things are animals, just some of us are humans. It basically birds of a feather flock together. It's not something that is often acted upon in a negative or aggressive form, but people that look alike stick with people that look alike, or are more comfortable with people who look like them, or root for people that look like them. This cannot be denied. It has nothing to do with mixed martial arts. It's just human behavior. Oprah did that little study with the blue eyes versus the brown eyes. They got the study with the little kids showing some pictures on a page, and it was just drawings of little cartoons, and some had lighter skin and darker skin, and just in general, if you've got people in school, look at your cafeteria. You've got your areas where the white people hang out. You've got your areas where the black people hang out. You've got your areas where the few Asians hang out, just depending on where you live, how many Asians there are. It's just simple. People get together and they're just able to converse with people who look like them easier. It doesn't mean that it's right. It doesn't mean that it's wrong. It's just natural. It's what happens. And, of course, you've got people who, interracial marriages, people who whatever, people who mink. Yeah, sure, there's both sides of it. But the reality is, all over the world, for the entirety of mankind's existence, people who look alike join up. Simple as that. All right, moving on. Never did I say Guillard or any other fighter didn't get a fair shot or didn't get a title shot because of skin color. The fact is, this is a business. And whatever gets the green, that's the money, gets greenlit. If Melvin Guillard is what makes the UFC the most money, it's what will happen. And in other sports, based on winning, if you win, you get in. And if getting a shot, that getting a shot is based on the coach or the manager or whoever's making the draft. If they believe that you can help them win, then it doesn't matter what color you are, that you're going to get that shot. And at least it's been like this for the last 30 years. Color of skin used to keep you out of sports, but that caused, used to keep you out of sports, and it did cause issues for fighters to get mainstream, but most of that has changed due to it now not being politically correct to discriminate for a wide variety of reasons, color and race being a few of them. But even that was based partially on the realization that black people and other minorities can help your team win. And a winning team, no matter what, is what matters most, because that makes you the money. That's unless you are owner of a franchise in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So, where's the racism? All right. Now, people say stuff like Rampage and Anderson Silva and Rashad Evans and King Mo and other fighters, Guillard included, are hated. And it's a lot of the times it has to do with cockiness, past transgressions, etc. Melvin Guillard was popped for drug use. It's cocaine, one hell of a drug. Enhancement issues. Rashad Evans is a cocky fool, acted a damn fool on Tough, got knocked out by Machida, so he's had to eat his words. King Mo has been very outspoken. He's got a really cocky attitude. And then you have Anderson Silva and his debacle against Damian Maia and Talis Latis. And then lastly, you have Rampage and his issue with energy drinks, fighting defenseless parked cars and pregnant women. But then I ask, okay, so we obviously have, maybe that's why all these guys are getting the hate, but let's take a look at guys like Brock Lesnar, Chris Lieben, Phil Bronin, Chael Sonnen. Or just quickly mention Randy Couture went back in the day when he spanked Tito. It was hilarious. It was awesome. There was nothing cocky about it. It was him putting Tito in his place because Tito was the cocky guy. All right. Brock Lesnar is hated, yes. But let's not get it twisted. He's hated because he came from the WWE and he was given a title shot. Just gifted it. One win, here's your title shot. And he's only hated by the hardcore MMA fans. Everything else about Brock Lesnar equals money. That's why he was given that easy title shot. Not against the easy opponent, but the quick road to the title shot. Chris Lieben was he's the reason Tough looks the way it does now. Every single year they're looking for the next Lieben. But he was the guy that everybody hated, though. Simple as that. But after some improvement and looked like he started to change his ways, people started to say, you know what, I don't mind this Chris Lieben guy. Wait, but then he was busted for roids. But then, after that, people started recognizing that, Chris Lieben's improving. Wait, then there was the drunk driving issue. All right, well, then it didn't matter because then he still came back and he's looking like a really, solid guy who's going to... And then he got knocked out by Brian Stan. Through all of this, though, the hate for Chris Lieben is pretty much gone. And now he's been able to get past his earlier tough times, literally tough, and in life. And he can basically just be Chris Lieben, the fighter. This is something that a lot of other guys are not able to get past. And then you got Baroni. Basically, Baroni is just, he was an exciting fighter, but he was one big gimmick. I'm the toughest guy on the earth, etc., etc. The badass coming out with the glasses, flashy. Every single thing about these minority fighters that gets hated on was happening with Phil Baroni. But he never got hated on it, even though he lost half of his 26 fights. Sure, he was entertaining people with knockouts and getting knocked out, but you never heard the masses in an uproar like, I can't stand this guy, he's just too cocky. And then we have Chael Sonnen, the true exhibit in this situation. He's talked about everybody there is. He's talked about humble guys. It's not like he's just like when Randy Couture dogged Tito Ortiz. You can understand. Okay, he's dogging the cocky guy. He stepped out of character to teach Tito a lesson. But what about this guy, Chael Sonnen? He's dogging humble guys. The Nogueira brothers, Mirko Cro Cop, Fedor Emelianenko. Okay, all the Pride guys, whatever. What about Rich Franklin and just anybody in the UFC or anybody in MMA that he wants to talk trash about? He talks about countries, Canada, Croatia, Brazil. He says Portuguese is one step above Pig Latin. That sounds racist to me. It might not to you, but it does to me. He says talk about Anderson Silva. Any grown man with a backwards hat that lives in his neighborhood, they would get run out of his neighborhood by he and his neighbors. That sounds racist to me, but it could just be me. But when he said all of these things, including talking about being the best, talking about going up and he could beat anybody at light heavyweight, a division that had the Karate Kid at the champ. When it came to all this stuff, endless hours of Chael Sonnen trash talk, it all got chalked up to, man, he's just trolling, he's hilarious, I love Chael Sonnen. Way more trash talk than, I'm gonna knock you out, I'm gonna knock you clean out. Try, watch. No, you're not. Try, watch. Way more trash talk than that. That was like a little clip, and then you had Tough. And Rampage has always been that. Rashad's always been who he is. But this guy's been talking nonstop for like a year and a half. Then what happens? He goes out and he loses. What do they say? Well, Anderson Silva got lucky. Then what happens? He got popped for roids. What do they say? Oh man, the athletic commissions, those guys are a bunch of bums. You'll see. Then what happens? He pleads guilty to money laundering. Dana freezes his contract. And I'm still seeing these I believe in Chael Sonnen Republican buttons. So why not the hate that Anderson Silva is receiving, whose only crime in his 12 fight winning streak, UFC record holding, where basically he finished 10 of those fights spanning 2 weight classes in 5 years. His only 2 issues in all of that was that he didn't fight to the fans' approval against Lattis and Maya. And other than that, I mean, he's dominated all types of people, including in between those fights when he dominated Forrest Griffin. And people said, oh, it was a fix. Come on, man. So, there are tons more examples, but this video does not need to be an hour long. Is it racism? Is it subconscious? Is it conscious? I don't know. You guys tell me. Now, the reality is mixed martial arts is a sport that caters to mainly male whites age 18 to 40 something. Sure, everybody's welcome to watch it, but it's a business. And you can't be like, our business, we are going to cater to everybody. It just doesn't, it's not possible. Women, the elderly, new mothers, I guess that's covered under women, Native Americans, East Indians, clearly they're not in the business plan. Sure, the UFC would love to have everybody's money, but they can't try and advertise to everybody. So you get, Bud Light, pickup trucks, Harley Davidsons, Spike TV, and all the stupid shows on Spike TV. All of them catering to males age 18 to 40 something. I mean, if you take a look at the UFC crowd, next time, everybody's cheering, who do you see? All white people. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that that's the case. And when you have a situation where Rampage Jackson came to the UFC real humble, didn't say anything, went out, did his thing, knocked out little short black dude, knocked him out, and then they said, we're going to give you a title shot. And he was like, Dana, no, I'm not ready for that yet. I want them to know who I am. I want them to be a little more accustomed to Rampage Jackson. No, don't do it. They said, no, Rampage, you the guy. Let's go. He goes out. He knocks out Chuck. What happens? They boo him. The crowd boos him. Boo! How could you knock him out? Now, a lot of people will say, well, they just didn't like to see their guy get knocked out. But the last time I was at a bar when I watched a mixed martial arts event was this event. And at that bar, there were about maybe 20 black guys. And the rest of them were white. And every white jaw was dropped. No. But you know what was real weird? All the black guys were up and said, yeah, woo. Like, I don't know. I didn't know these dudes. I'm just saying. So obviously it goes both ways. But let's not pretend that, you know, in mixed martial arts is the only place in the entire world or the history of mankind where racism doesn't exist. They threw bananas at black goalies at the Montreal Canadiens game. FIFA runs the Say No to Racism campaign all over the world. Racism in sports exists, so clearly there's racism. There has to be racism in MMA. And I'm not saying it's everybody, and I'm not saying it's a majority. I'm just saying it's there. Now, maybe a lot of people don't get it because you guys aren't receiving racist comments in your inbox every single video like I am. Clearly, I don't say everything. I don't go out there and say, hey guys, guess what? You know, I'm getting racism stuff in my thing ever since I started doing the show. But most definitely it happens, believe it or not. Or maybe you're just not seeing the racist comments that I do leave up in the actual comment boxes where people are like, shut up, Regan. By the way, switch around Regan, it spells a certain thing, etc., etc. Or, you know, maybe it's because you're from a time, like I am, of racial tolerance. That doesn't even sound good at all either. Like, we're going to tolerate them. Or maybe you're from the Obama nation. So since Obama is the president, clearly there's no more racism. You know, it's gone now. Or maybe you were born in the 90s, or maybe your buddies with 0 criminal records don't call you about once a month, all telling you about their different stories about what happened with the cops today. Or maybe they didn't tell you, your buddy didn't call you up just 2 days ago to talk about how he was walking through the store, going to his car, passed through, you know, the little, you know, what the thing that beeps when somebody's stealing. He's 15 feet past, 3 people pass after him, the beep goes off, and then some old lady on the side doesn't work there, goes, it's probably him. Come on, maybe that doesn't happen with you guys or with certain folks. You know, maybe you just have to be a minority to understand when there is something blatant going on in and outside of MMA. Maybe you have to be a minority married to a Caucasian with a mixed kid, and people are always saying to your wife, yo, do you bring your kid tanning? I mean, that's just ignorance. Not to say it's racism, but it's ignorance, but I'm just saying. Who brings the kid tanning? You know what I mean? Come on. Or are you babysitting? Come on now. Maybe it's a combination of everything. So maybe I'm seeing things jaded. Maybe it's not really there and I'm imagining it all. Maybe I'm confused. The point is, I don't think I'm imagining all of this. I might be. I do recognize that. And I'm saying this kind of sarcastic, but I think I'm imagining it. But I've got my opinion. And if you want to unsubscribe or tell me that your so-called respect, whether it's a little bit or all of it, has all suddenly been removed because I said a lot of people are going to hate against Melvin Guillard. And there are a lot of other guys that look kind of like Melvin Guillard, and they get a lot of hate too, and I'm just going to leave it for that for now. If you guys want to say, oh, no more respect, then whatever. It is what it is. I don't do this for fans, friends, or subs. Pause. I do appreciate every last friend that I've made on here, and I have made a few. Like actual real-life call-them-on-the-phone friends. And I appreciate every last subscription, and anybody who considers or would consider themselves to be a fan of my MMA analyzing. I appreciate all of you guys, but I do this just for the enjoyment of talking MMA. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. I do not get paid. Blah, 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 blah. But I do still do it, and I'm going to keep on doing it. Tell me what you think. MMA, it's important. Peace.